Phoenix Books presents White Fang, written by Jack London. This performance by John Ritter is copyright 2014 Phoenix Books. It has been digitally remastered from the original 1993 Dove Audio sound recording.
The Trail of Meat. Dark spruce forests frowned on either side the frozen waterway. The trees had been stripped by a recent wind of their white covering of frost, and they seemed to lean toward each other, black and ominous in the fading light. A vast silence reigned over the land. The land itself was a desolation. It was the wild, the savage, frozen-hearted Northland wild. But there was life abroad in the land and defiant. Down the frozen waterway toiled a string of wolfish dogs. Leather harness was on the dogs, and leather traces attached them to a sled which dragged along behind. The sled was without runners. It was made of stout birch bark, and its full surface rested on the snow. On the sled, securely latched, was a long and narrow oblong box. In advance of the dogs, on wide snowshoes, toiled a man. At the rear of the sled toiled a second man. On the sled, in the box, lay a third man whose toil was over. A man whom the wild had beaten down until he would never move nor struggle again. It is not the way of the wild to like movement. Life is an offense to it. For life is movement, and the wild aims always to destroy movement. But at front and rear, unawed and indomitable, toiled the two men who were not yet dead. They traveled on without speech, saving their breath for the work of their bodies. On every side was the silence, pressing upon them with a tangible presence. It crushed them with the weight of unending vastness and unalterable decree. It crushed them until they perceived themselves finite and small, specks and motes, moving with weak cunning and little wisdom amidst the play and interplay of the gray, blind elements and forces. An hour went by, and a second hour. A faint, far cry arose on the still air. A second cry arose, piercing the silence with needle-like shrillness. "They're after us, Bill," said the man at the front. "Meat is scarce," answered his comrade. "I ain't seen a rabbit sign for days." At the fall of darkness, they swung the dogs into a cluster of spruce trees on the edge of the waterway and made a camp. The coffin, at the side of the fire, served for seat and table. The wolf dogs clustered on the far side of the fire snarled and bickered among themselves, but evinced no inclination to stray off in the darkness. "Seems to me, Henry, they're staying remarkable close to camp."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?